Hello and welcome to Glow. Thank you for joining us. I'll be your guide in today's meditation. Today we'll discuss our skill set of being able to pause and process when we're overwhelmed with emotions. We'll begin by sitting on the floor, a cushion, or in a chair. When you're ready, allow your eyes to close. Let's take 3 deep breaths together now. Start with a big inhale, then hold your breath for a moment and fully exhale. Now take an even deeper breath in and pause, holding it, and another full exhale. One last full inhale to hold, and one final big exhale, pushing out every last bit of air. Relax your body and breath now, taking long, deep exhales. Release any tension you may feel in your face, chest, shoulders, belly, and hips. Keeping your eyes closed, center your gaze as if you were staring at the place directly between your eyebrows. Watch your thoughts trickle by, noticing each one before letting it go. Notice if some thoughts linger a little longer than others. Especially notice if any thought evokes an emotion, good or bad. Continue observing your thoughts flow by for a few moments in silence. Find the breath again, taking a few slow and deep exhales. Bring your gaze back to the center of your brow and watch your thoughts again. If you have any emotional responses to any of the thoughts that arise, notice if your eyes have drifted from the center of your brow. Whenever you sense your gaze drift, bring it back to the center of your brow and make note how long it took you to notice before you recentered. Keep observing how often the mind drifts. Keep honoring your ability to notice it drifting and recenter it for a few minutes in silence. If your mind has drifted away, return your focus to the balance of the inhale and exhale again. When we have a strong emotional response to an experience, we may say the experience was triggering. Anything that sets off a strong and automatic response is considered a trigger. When this happens, we can lose our mindful awareness of our thoughts and may often act without thinking. Once we have been triggered, we have an almost instantaneous change in our mood, perhaps escalating like a rocket shooting up into the sky. Coming back down can be generally much slower, like floating down with a parachute. A quick build-up requires a slow process of regrounding. Even when the triggering event has passed, our hearts and mind can still be racing for several minutes. We all have the potential to be triggered, which is why it is beneficial to recognize what our triggers are when we have been triggered and to remember to give ourselves space to come down slowly. Mindfulness can support us being less reactive, but even those who are the most mindful can be pushed too far on a bad day and lose their temper, panic, or find themselves otherwise overwhelmed by a strong emotional response. Sometimes it can be certain friends or family members that push our buttons. Maybe it's a bully who makes us feel small. And sometimes it may not even be intentional, from a joke on TV or a passing comment from a stranger. When under emotional stress, our instincts can tell us to either fight or flee, which can look like being defensive or retreating, and we can become so ungrounded that it can feel like our emotions have blasted us up a mile into the air. While we may love to avoid these things entirely, we don't always have this luxury. Perhaps with mindfulness, we can begin to learn how to recognize when we are being triggered and derail our habitual response, even though this can be very challenging and requires a high level of mindful awareness. which we may not always have in those moments. But once we've been activated, the best thing we can do is learn how to calmly remove ourselves from the situation if possible and give ourselves space to come back down. Switching back from an activated state to a calm state takes much more time than going from calm to activated. But the more we practice using mindfulness to bring ourselves down after we've been triggered, the more skillful we can become at it. With practice, we can become mindful of when we've been triggered before we've rocketed too high, and even our come down can be faster and easier over time. While our mental capacity to be mindful is diminished in these moments, it can kick in faster and faster the more we practice. Return your awareness to your breath and posture. Drop your head forward and gently roll it a few times to the right and to the left, however it feels best for you. Now straighten your neck and take one last clearing breath in. Hold it for a moment and let it go. Then allow your eyes to open. Thank you for showing up for your mindfulness practice today. We are grateful for the opportunity to support you in self-care and look forward to meeting here again tomorrow.